Welcome to the Brian Murray Show, a real estate show, New Jersey style. Today's discussion point is regarding Q4. What does it mean? Where are we? It's the most interesting quarter of the year. For instance, here we are, we've just passed the election, and I was in Costco the other day, my favorite store, and there's Christmas stuff up already. There was Christmas stuff up like 3 weeks ago. In fact, there was barely any Halloween stuff. It was all Christmas stuff. So they keep pushing Christmas back further and further and further into the year. Next thing you know, it'll be Christmas in July, but it'll actually be July for December. But aside from that, if you go online and start shopping, I was doing some of that today. I needed to replace a computer, which is why I have this cool screen behind me here, because I'm not in my normal place to shoot today. But I was looking for a computer, and there were Black Friday deals. And now that's, maybe about 3 weeks away from right now. So it's very interesting that, here we are almost at Black Friday. 3 weeks from now, but the deals are now. I remember having to stand in line as a kid and get up, go to the store after we ate the Thanksgiving dinner and go to the store and wait out all night to save, $100 on some stupid piece of electronics that was outdated in, 6 months from then. But, now you just click and click and click and it comes to you. So Black Friday is already here. Christmas is already here. Everything is rush, 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 rush. But in terms of real estate, Q4 is a really interesting kind of a situation. If you think about the beginning of Q4, October 1st, which is just a little bit more than a month ago, think about where everything was. And I'm not even just talking in the COVID world. I'm talking in just, hey, in this particular area, could have been 75, 80 degrees out on October 1st or thereabouts. Kind of just transitioning from true fall, like that really beginning of fall where it starts to maybe get a little chilly and you might wear a little bit of a jacket, maybe not on some days, to, kind of the middle, at the beginning of November, this past week, it was literally wind chills that equaled in the 20s. Could have used my winter coat. To, once we get another month into this here, you're going to be definitely needing more of a coat, maybe a winter coat, earmuffs, as we kind of roll into past Thanksgiving and into Christmas. And, think about that for real estate, where in a typical Q4, it's really Q3 and a half, if you really want to call it that. It's the first 6 weeks of Q4 that mean everything. And the last 6 weeks of Q4, you're just kind of hanging on, just getting over that hump into the next year. So, and that's a typical non-COVID year. So it'll be really, I don't see a lot of change from that, except the fact that the interest rates are still low. However, there isn't a lot of impetus that the interest rates are likely to surge higher anytime soon. So, buyers are like, well, I could wait until the next year. Maybe everybody just needs a break, even though the governor of New Jersey and New York are trying to cancel Thanksgiving and cancel Christmas. And all the celebrations. I think, people may need a mental break from just their everyday lives and say, hey, maybe I can focus on the holiday. Maybe I can focus on a small holiday, but really do it deep and well and kind of block out everything else. So Q4 is really going to be very interesting as far as like what happens, what doesn't happen. I would expect that if I am a seller, that I would be wanting to get my home sold in the next few weeks. And if I am a buyer, and I do have the time, that, those weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas are going to be better than Black Friday when it comes to deals within the real estate community. So this is today's discussion point on Q4. So today's discussion point, like it is every week, is how's the market? What's going on in the market? Here we are at Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020. So if we take a look at what's going on in the Hoboken and Jersey City market, Hoboken, for instance, we've got 354 condos available. That was 30 in the last 7 days and 124 in the last 30 days. So what that really means just in that segment right there is that 230 condos have been sitting for more than 30 days. The average days on market are 36 days. So 230 of them are starting to hit the average days on market. In the past 30 days, we've had 80 under contract condos. So that's really about 4.5 months worth of inventory. And again, the days on market were 36 for those. And in the past 30 days, there's been 80 sold condos as well. The average discount to ask is a 2.2% discount to ask. Now, the big warning signs there are, hey, you know, if the market does slow down for the holidays, yes, there aren't as many homes coming on the market. Fewer homes every week are coming on. However, that supply may not get sucked up quite as fast. You know, it has dropped a little bit from a peak, in the high 300s to about 350 now. That might come down a little bit more, but that still means there's going to be an awful lot of people with homes that haven't sold come, the snow season. For Jersey City, very similar kind of a situation with 319 condos on the market. Only 18 came on in the last 7 days, only 18, and 112 over the last 30 days. So again, for Jersey City, there's over 200 condos that have been on the market for quite a while, for more than 30 days. Their average days on the market is 48. So, it's starting to sit, and they're under contracts for the last 30 days was 53. So that's about 6 months worth of inventory right there. That is really starting to get up into the buyer's market range. And then obviously for solds, they have 47 in the last 30 days. That's not good news that that number doesn't keep pushing up a little bit higher and a little bit higher, because that means that there really isn't that volume turn that we'd like to see. For the percentage of discount, it's a 1.2% discount there. So I think that both Hoboken and Jersey City, there are definitely some concerns as we kind of go into the winter, where I think typically people will take their homes off the market. So you'll see those numbers start to slide down a bit before a surge in next year. People hoping that they can kind of weather the winter and then kind of hit the market again come the spring. So that's today's hot topic on how's the market in Hoboken and Jersey City. So the good, the bad, the ugly. This week I'm going to relabel it the bad, the ugly, and the good. And I've chosen my background screen to be a photo that a good friend of mine took from right after 9/11. Just to keep everybody's perspective in. Sometimes we get a little bit caught up in the election and what it means or what it doesn't mean. But I think that if you ask some of the people that were in this photo, whether they were Republican or Democrat, I don't know that you would get an answer other than they were an American on that day trying to help other people, other Americans, and just trying to recover from the situation. So having said that, the bad of this whole thing is that politics has seemed to have turned into almost like a sports rivalry, where there's the one team and the other team, and the rooters of the one team and the rooters of the other team, and that if you root for the wrong team or not the team that you root for, that the other people are bad in some way, and rather than that they just are rooters of a different team and a different thing. So it seems to be getting a little bit crazy when it comes to that. Almost like if you were an Islanders fan and you went to the Rangers game and get beat up, it's like, seriously, it's just a hockey game. However, that's the bad. The ugly is something really that is of interest to both Hoboken and Jersey City. And I saw some politicians here on election day that typically are on different sides of even though they're all Democrats, they're on different sides of viewpoints and often rivals, and just how they were getting together to say, let's vote. And the real truth, the ugly truth is that the politicians don't really want everyone to vote, especially in Hoboken, especially in downtown Jersey City or Jersey City. And the fact of the reason why they don't is because both of those communities have a lot of quote unquote transient people, a lot of renters who are only going to be there for a few years and are going to move on to other places, from the city to the suburbs to somewhere else. And so they don't want to have to waste a lot of their resources and time pandering to those people. They don't want them to vote at all. They want people who are going to be there a long time. They want the folks that are old school, with Hoboken, old Hoboken people. They want people that aren't going to be moving to the suburbs. Maybe they're low income folks that are are entrenched and don't have anywhere to move. They want the brownstone owners who are going to again be entrenched and aren't looking to move. So that's really the ugly truth of it, is that when they tell you to go out and vote, they don't really mean everyone. They just mean the people who aren't going to be moving. And then the good. Hey, a good big shout out to all the poll workers out there. It's a thankless job. It's almost, I don't even know if it's a paid job. It's probably an unpaid or barely paid job. It's like jury duty, I bet. They got to deal with a lot of people. They got to make sure that everything goes right. They have to deal with a lot of complaints. They're doing their best. It's like it's almost like a little league umpire. You think that person that's getting $10 an hour to call balls and strikes isn't doing their best? They're trying to rob your kid of an experience. It's just what it is, and everybody needs to say thank you for doing that job. So I'm going to leave you with a little quote to inspire you to say, what a year this week has been. And this has been the Brian Murray Show. As always, all of the Brian Murray Show episodes can be found on the murraypropertygroup.com and my blog site. I do appreciate any shout outs on social media, my LinkedIn, my Facebook, my Instagram. Do appreciate any comments, any thoughts, any feedback that you might have. Please post it there. And as always, if there's anything that you disagree with in the show, please reach out to me directly and I'll show you why you're wrong. Thanks for watching.